let's just move on to the next little article. There's something big that happened in the whole tech industry. That this is the article I thought
There
you
is.
gave me, and they switched it up on me last minute.
Sorry, Mike.
But
But
nah, it's all good,
this
man.
guy's an Android user. You know what I'm saying? How can I give an
That's
Android user the iPhone article?
that's a fact. Sorry, I'm that guy.
Oh,
Green text
uh,
fam.
yeah. I mean, I will say though, admittedly, I did not watch like the presser or whatever for like the new Apple
I
stuff.
heard all about it though.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't watch it. I didn't like read the specs of the new iPhone or anything because they did, of course. Apple did announce new iPhone, which is like part of it. But it's one of those things like I got my new phone last year, so now I'm just kind of like chilling and it's just like I
Yeah.
don't really care. But yeah, I thought it was a pretty interesting announcement they had. So this is coming from CNET. Oscar Gonzalez writes, Death Stranding, Resident Evil 4 remake, Assassin's Creed Mirage are coming to the iPhone 15 Pro. Apple is bringing true console gaming to the iPhone. Apple's Wonderlust event on Tuesday was all about the iPhone 15 and Apple Watch, including some interesting mobile gaming features that if you buy a iPhone 15 Pro. Powering the new Pro lineup of iPhones is the A17 Pro chip, which Apple revealed during Tuesday's show. The new processor takes the upcoming iPhone Pro to a new level in mobile gaming with better graphical performance and ray tracing, a technology that displays realistic light in video games. Because of the powered up chip, the console versions of Resident Evil Village, Resident Evil 4 Remake, Death Stranding, and Assassin's Creed Mirage will come to the iPhone 15 Pro in the coming year, Apple said. While Apple has long boasted its iPhones are capable of console quality gaming, this is the first time full versions of so called AAA console games have been available on the mobile platform. Tuesday's show focused on the upgrades coming to the iPhone and Apple Watch lineup. iPhone 15 with the first phone to come with a USB-C charge port. Hear that, Mike? USB-C on the iPhone,
Yeah.
baby.
It's about time.
About time.
No more adapters.
Yeah, gotta adhere to those EU policies, at some point. While Apple says the titanium iPhone 15 Pro is the lightest Pro model it's ever made, handheld gaming took a turn in the past 2 years thanks to the Steam Deck, Valve's portable PC gaming device, and the rise of cloud gaming has spurred other tech companies to make portable devices capable of playing full versions of video games, such as the Razer Edge, Lenovo Legion Go, the Logitech G Cloud, the ROG Ally, and the upcoming PlayStation Portal. However, that is tethered to the PlayStation. All right, I just gotta say
Yep.
that, right? It's not
Yeah, I
a
was like, you gotta mention that. They're very different.
yeah, that is not the equivalent of a ROG Ally, Logitech G Cloud, etc. Just gotta say, sorry, Sony, but it's buns. All right,
This guy.
But I don't know. What do you think, Mike? AAA titles, console quality, on running on a mobile device as small as a phone.
Well, first of all, that's the future. Regardless of like how you feel about it, mobile gaming is the future. That's what's going to happen. You're going to have more AAA games on your cell phones, on your mobile, your tablet. Like these new handhelds that are coming out, they're actually pretty fire. Look amazing. But I think this is a bigger deal because it's on Apple. And I know I'm a Droid user, but Apple is pretty optimized when it comes to software. And if they could try to become optimized with these AAA games, I think there's going to be new hurdles. Like, you know how the AAA studios have been complaining about optimizing their games for the Series S, like the lower tier consoles? They're probably going to complain just as much when it comes to Apple. They're pretty serious about their proprietary, like, or their functionality on Apple phones. If you've ever noticed that, it's like, a key example is like they're so strict with how their software works on their phones because they're all basically the same that when like Apple phones are more optimized for most apps, whereas like there's so many different droids out there that like you'll have a couple of droids that maybe the Pixel is better than a Samsung on like Snapchat. People still freaking use Snapchat, or like TikTok is a really good example. Like using the in-game video, it's like the Android phones definitely have the best cameras on the market, but it's better, like the software is better optimized for Apple because they have like this ecosystem that you have to abide by if you're putting products on their platform.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. So it's gonna be cool to see how that works with AAA games. And if it can be as smooth as what I see people doing with all the different social media apps, I mean, bro, That can be a game changer. It can be. It's definitely something to be excited about. Just to see Apple joining the space.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's I mean, I think it's interesting. I think it's the future, like you're saying. And I think, devices will get smaller, run games better. Do have to say though, what's your opinion on
Oh,
this? Do you think, or I guess I should preface it like this, how hot do you think this phone is gonna get running a AAA title? Like we
ooh,
talking cooking an egg on it? Talking
mm,
just kind of, hand warmer?
ooh. That's hard to say, right? So, I don't have an iPhone. You do though, right?
Yeah, I do.
How does your iPhone get hot when you're on the phone?
When
Like
I'm on
for
the
extended period of time,
phone,
which nobody's
not
ever doing anymore. But
not often. I will say though, for the first time probably since I've had it recently, and this was like earlier this week, it did get like it wasn't noticeably hot at one point, but I think I just had like YouTube videos on in the background on it for a little while. It was
mm,
on the charger, took it off, but it was boiling and that battery was cooking. So I don't know, I guess depending on the stuff. I haven't gamed extensively on this, but I can imagine that, it probably would get a little hot. But yeah, I don't know. It's but if you're running a
interesting.
AAA title, it's like how
It's,
those thermals going to be?
I mean, it's definitely going to cook. Let's get that out of the way. But is it going to cook more than any other of these devices that they mentioned, like the Razer Edge, Legion Go, G Cloud, all that kind of stuff that we talked about? I don't know. You know,
I think you will notice it more on an iPhone, right? Because like the controls are on
and they
the
don't have
device,
fans too, right?
and there's
Yeah,
yeah, I mean there's no fans. The controls are on the device. Meanwhile, Steam Deck, it's like you have the motherboard's in the middle, but the controls are kind of separated, so to speak, right? Um,
yeah.
so you don't maybe don't notice it as much. But yeah, I mean I mean, there's no fan. I mean, it's something I didn't think about. Like, I mean, I don't think there's a fan in any like smartphone really. It's kind of just like I guess the thermals are designed a certain way. But then again, I don't know the entire. I've never cracked open an iPhone, so I mean, maybe there's some fan. I don't. It'd be a really small
There's
one, but
I highly doubt it. It's probably like in convection. I don't know. I went to school for engineering. There's something about it. Uh, Kind of how a chimney stack works, but that's more about heat rising. But the shape of like, if you got a lot of energy inside that's hot, and you do like a cone kind of, it should dissipate naturally through the
yeah,
phone.
yeah.
Should. Whether or not it does, I don't know.
Extensive testing is needed. This is why they
Of
spend months and
course.
months.
Of course.
It's
I mean, it's
insane.
definitely something to keep an eye out, man. I really like how they finally added the USB-C. That means you can have more accessories be compatible with the phone.
Yeah,
Like, there are tons and tons of, like, you can go to Amazon right now and just do USB-C, like, cell phone controller attachment, you know? And basically turn your phone into the PlayStation Portal,
yeah.
which is not a like, that's not even worth getting, to be honest. Uh,
It's
that's a very small group of people that will need that or use that.
yeah, very true.
Yeah.
And before I end this article, Mike, I just have to say, want to know what the most Apple thing is out of this entire announcement and all these releases that were announced? What the most Apple thing is?
The most Apple thing.
It was a product that was released. I don't know if I mean I'm sure it was announced in the presentation, but it's like a very small product that it's
Is
just
it a
like
watch?
it screams Apple. No, it's not the watch. You're switching your port to USB-C, right? I mean, are you including a charger cable with it? Yeah, maybe, right? But if I want to use like my old charging cable for my previous iPhone that was Lightning, for $30, Mike, you can purchase a Lightning
My
cable to
God.
USB adapter from Apple.
Dude, I swear, like, I'm gonna say something real quick. The reason why I don't have an Apple, because I used to have Apple.
Yeah,
Here's the problem with Apple. When you get in their ecosystem, they freaking trap you, dude. They're like, you need to have iTunes. The only way to update your phone and switch the database, you gotta have iTunes. Oh, by the way, you need iCloud. And it's like next thing you know, you're paying like subscriptions on top of subscriptions. You need an upgraded cable. You need to do like, oh, now it'd be great to have the iPad because the iPad's like the best tablet you can buy. I mean, they're definitely getting better, but they used to always be the best. And the next thing you know, it's like, oh, well, I got all this other stuff, so let's make it all compatible because they talk to each other, right? What do we need next? We need a Mac. It's like it just keeps climbing up, dude. And it gets out of control. And it's like then it's like, oh well, I can't get a traditional keyboard. I gotta get like an Apple keyboard. An Apple mouse. It's sleeker, looks cooler. It's like, Jesus, man, Steve Jobs is really trying to rob us blind. But I got out. I
Steve
got free, dude. And now everybody memes me for green text. But that's the price you pay.
Green bubbles. You understand? Green
Yeah.
bubbles.
Nah, I don't hate Apple though. I just understand them.
Yeah.
Price
I mean, like we
gouging.
all do, you know.